It may not be as impressive as the Dragon Slayer, but I do have this thing. How cool is that? Hey everyone, Brobuscus here, and welcome back to another Let's Watch of Death Battle. Today's episode, we've got... oh boy, that's all I really need to say. It's Guts from Berserk versus Dimitri from Fire Emblem. Real quick, I'm going to turn the mic down a little bit just to prevent peaking. I did get a new sleeve cover for the mic. Had noise canceling sleeve. You know, if you know, you know. But I haven't really done much testing with it yet until just now, so I will play with the audio all I want. Well, anyways, before we get into the episode, there should be a link in the description below. You can go watch the actual episode yourself. Go support the official release before watching some random guy on YouTube react to it, okay? Got it? Cool. So, Guts versus Dimitri. So Guts is back. This is going to be a very interesting return for him. It's been, what, 8 years since Guts has been on? So definitely happy to see him back. And hey, we're getting Fire Emblem on this show. You know, I can't say I mean, Fire Emblem is one of those series that I feel like is like requested since forever. But it does feel kind of it does give me a weird feeling that we're finally tackling it, you know. Okay, so how do I know these characters? Well, Guts I'm not crazy familiar with. I've you know, obviously he had a previous Death Battle. I did watch that. I did not go and rewatch it before this episode came out because, to be honest, I was never really a big fan of that episode. But that's neither here nor there. But I mean, aside from that, I'm familiar with Berserk. You know, I know it's like one of the bigger anime mangas out there. Even if it is on indefinite hiatus now, because unfortunately, the original mangaka, why am I blanking his name? Kitaro Miura, I think his name is. Unfortunately did pass away. You know, we lost a legend, but like, I'm not crazy familiar with Berserk. I haven't read it, I haven't watched much on it, but I'm very familiar with how much of an impact this series, this series has had on people. So to say we lost a legend would be an understatement. But I didn't do any sort of like digging in to Berserk in the lead up to this. I should have. I've thought about it, but I just never did. I did a little bit of digging into him a few years back for the prediction video I made for Battle Royale, if anybody remembers that. It's been a while since I've talked about that show now, hasn't it? But I do still think Guts is a very interesting character, and his life just sucks. It just sucks. Like, holy crap! Like they went over it in Guts' last episode, and I imagine they'll do it here. So they're doing my job for me. As for Dimitri, so I've never played Three Houses. It was Three Houses and Three Hopes. Never played them. But in the lead up to this, I did watch a 14.5 hour long video that's basically the entirety of the Blue Lions route in Three Houses, and that's time I'm never gonna get back. But hey, it was still cool, so I was super into it, and Dimitri seems like a really cool character, so yeah. And aside from that, I mean, I did just finish watching Max a Few Trades Let's Play Fire Emblem Awakening, which Dimitri is not in, And aside from that, my basic knowledge of Fire Emblem comes from Smash Brothers, which Dimitri is also not in. So, yeah. um, but aside from that, I do think both of these two are pretty cool. You know, from what little I know about both of them. I say little as if I didn't just watch an incredibly long video talking about. I say talking about. I say little as if I didn't watch the entirety of the Blue Lions route, but you know what I mean. So who do I want to win? Well, honestly, I'm honestly kind of okay with either of these two winning. Both of their lives just are trash. Like they've both been through a lot. So really, either way you look at it, one of them gets to finally rest in peace. So personally, I'm okay with either of them winning. If I had to pick who I would want to see win, I mean, I've known Guts longer. But at the same time, I guess by proxy, I'm just more experienced with Dimitri because I haven't actually watched or read anything Berserk. The most of my experience with Berserk comes from Guts' last episode, which again, like I said, I don't really think is all that good. So do I go with the one I knew first, or the one I'm more experienced with? Would you believe me if I said that this is the first time I'm actually truly starting to think about it? I guess. I don't know. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna root for the character I think is going to win. So that I can say, hey, at least I was right. And in that regard, I'm kind of siding with Dimitri. It's so here's the thing. I do think that Guts overall is faster. Not by a lot, but he is. I do think the Dragon Slayer would be a is a good weapon to have because it not only can cut through it exists on both the physical and astral planes of existence somehow, so it can basically slice through anything. I know Dimitri has healing options. I wonder how well they're going to do against a sword that's on the astral plane. Again, not really sure how that works, but it does. So we're gonna roll with it. So the main thing that I think is working in Dimitri's favor, aside from the fact that he just has a lot more tools to work with, Guts has quite a bit, but for the most part, he does prefer using his Dragon Slayer. Whereas Dimitri has his spear, which name I have completely forgotten. And a bunch more tools to play with. Like he's got swords, he's got bows, he's got magic. That's the main thing that he's got that Guts doesn't is magic. I think Guts' ultimate win trump card is the Berserker armor. But even then, apparently Dimitri has techniques and abilities that completely counter the Berserker armor. Like he's got so much stuff that works on armored beings. So that's interesting. But the main thing for Dimitri is he's just more powerful. At the end of the day, like scaling to a single Javelin of Light. Scaling to Byleth, who has all of Sothis' power. The Sothis feat is kind of just endgame, really. like it's more powerful than anything Guts has had to, because Sothis flooded the entire planet. So and I'm pretty sure it's either that feat or the javelin feat. I forget which one, but either way, one of them is twice as strong as the strongest thing that Guts has gone up against at its lowest possible end. Like, if you take Guts at his highest possible end and Dimitri at his lowest, Dimitri is still twice as strong. And that's being really generous to Guts. So, at the end of the day, I think his counters to the Berserker armor, his wider array of tools, and his overall just more power is going to be what gives Dimitri the win. But I don't claim to be an expert. I'm only going off of what I've been told. So let's just watch this episode and see for ourselves, shall we?
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp and Mint Mobile.
Cool.
Guts, the brutal Black Swordsman of Berserk.
And Dimitri, the savage savior king from Fire Emblem. Vengeance is an ever-malicious force that can turn
They reversed
into
it.
a broken, traumatized...
Unstoppable one-man army. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
You're gonna have to impress me, Guts. Let's see what's up.
Of Midland, life really sucks all around. Demons
Yeah.
run rampant, villages get pillages, and a helpless elf fairy has become target practice for some thugs. Batter up!
Until walking into the torment comes a stranger clad in black, cleaving through anyone in his way with one humongous sword.
Wiz, that weapon is too big to be called a sword, too massive and thick, more like a slab of raw iron that no normal man could wield.
Except for the man with a simple but fitting name, Guts.
But what is it that makes Guts so terrifying? Well, we're about to get into some really, really dork shit, fair warning.
Yeah.
Born from his mother's recently hanged corpse, Guts was taken in
Good
by
start.
a mercenary band led by Gambino.
Who
Oh, this
definitely
guy.
is the Father of the Year.
No.
Gambino put Guts through the ringer, training him with swords way too big for him before putting him into live combat at only 9 years old.
Training with such large swords made Guts inhumanly strong, but he needed a different kind of strength.
Griffith!
Horrendous abuse he suffered from Gambino.
So he
That's the
murdered
first thing I
Guts
saw.
in self-defense. He deserved it, trust me. With no home or
Yeah, he
family
did.
to speak of, Guts aimlessly wandered for years as a lone mercenary.
Until he caught the eye of the ambitious Griffith. Impressed by Guts' bold battle prowess and blunt honesty, Griffith wanted him. So Guts joined his mercenary group, the Band of the Hawk.
Where Guts' gutsy fighting style made him the perfect captain. The dude was hardcore enough to fight 100 enemy soldiers on his own. And
It's true.
helped end a 100-year-long war, all while earning respect and glory with Griffith and his group.
For the first time, Guts found true friends and comrades to rely on.
But when Griffith realized he couldn't keep Guts at his side, really, really bad things happened.
Upon the eclipse,
yeah.
Griffith summoned a bunch of demons, became a super demon himself, and sacrificed Guts' new friends to the abyss. If that wasn't bad enough, he marked Guts with a demonic brand, then raped his girlfriend Casca, forcing Guts to watch as his eye was split open and he was forced to tear off his own arm.
Yeah, really bad things.
Guts barely escaped with his life. He vowed to brutally murder Griffith, and
Understandable.
down to the last one. No small task, even for him.
And every big task needs even bigger weapons. Guts' bread and butter is the enormous Dragon Slayer.
6.5 feet long and weighing over 300 pounds, Dragon Slayer is absurd. In Guts' hands, it can cleave through plated armor and even demons with skin of corundum, a real-life metal that is harder than steel.
And since
Neat.
Guts has made
Oh.
killing demons his favorite pastime, Dragon Slayer was exposed to so much demonic blood that it exists on the astral plane, meaning it can harm any supernatural monster. God, this thing's heavy.
Guts also carries a collection of explosives and throwing knives, but I'm partial to his mechanical arm, complete with a wondrous invention of a repeater crossbow and a secret cannon.
Yeah, that's
true.
neat and all, but they aren't as awesome as Dragon Slayer here. God, how does he do this? Okay, the repeater crossbow is pretty cool. It can fire a volley of 4 to 5 bolts per second, making it the go-to option for mowing down groups of bad guys. And hey, if you gotta lose your hand, replacing it with a goddamn super gun is the way to go. Even
True.
demons are afraid of this thing. See ya, Snakeface!
With his collection of weapons and indomitable will, Guts slaughtered everyone and everything in his way.
Be it an army of trolls, a supersonic elf fairy, or some Bible thumper whose blows were like cannons.
But while Guts took the physical challenges in stride, his mental strife was a different story.
He
Yeah.
had demons to deal with, literally and figuratively. Always tormented
He has
by his
problems.
inner beast of darkness.
Guts tried to shoulder this trauma alone, even for a time leaving behind Casca, who survived but was mentally broken. Nothing would
Understandable,
replace the
to be
comrades
honest.
Guts lost during the eclipse. However, through his resilience, he eventually saw the dangerous path he was on, and so reunited with Casca and eventually came to depend on new companions.
Including pretty boy Serpico. He doesn't look like much, but the guy is fast enough to dodge lightning at speeds over 100 times faster
Oh.
than sound. And Guts
Cool.
kept up with him more than once.
And thanks to the witch Flora, Guts got his deadliest and riskiest asset, the Berserker armor.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
yep.
By shutting down all mental limitations, this armor gives Guts a huge amp in strength. Pain means nothing to him now, and it even heals injuries on the fly. Wait, did I say heal? What I meant was it pierces his
There it
torn
is.
flesh and broken bones together so he can fight until the actual last drop of blood has left his body. Man, that's hardcore.
And extremely risky.
Yeah.
Donning the armor has been nearly disastrous for him more than once.
Yeah, when he's in a stitched up rage, the beast of darkness is gnawing on his mind, tempting him to go berserk. Bam! Title drop.
Guts' tenacity is a sight to behold. He's held back a demonic dragon, withstood being impaled, and even teamed up with a fabled demon swordsman to take down an apostle that can channel lightning.
Hand sliced
Cool.
up a cloud dude in the rawest manga panel ever. Just look at it. If that's not badass enough for you, he once killed a giant sea god from the inside.
With its whale, this behemoth created a storm that covered an entire island. The kinetic energy of such a storm is immense. Gauging the size of the island, the energy required to induce such a storm would need to exceed 600 kilotons of TNT.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Guts gutted a sea monster whose shout was a natural disaster.
He needed to do that and much more to reach Elfhelm, where Casca's lost sanity was finally returned. Things
Yay.
were looking up for the legendary Black Swordsman.
But that bastard Griffin
Yeah,
just
it's-
wouldn't leave him alone.
It's never
How tragic his tale becomes, Guts will persevere for his allies, both past
never that
and
easy.
present.
He has new friends, a renewed heart, a badass sword, and the last thing any man, demon, or god wants to do is mess with him. Fuck yeah!
On the continent of Fodlan lies the holy kingdom of Fargus, a knightly nation where the youth learn to swing a sword before they can write their own name. Prince Dimitri Alexandre Blayddid was no exception.
The kid was a prodigy.
I never understood why his name is pronounced that, but okay. Dislikes Edelgard, that's true.
Or someone gifted mystical power through the blood of the goddess Sothis. Those born with a crest gain anything from enhanced magic to superhuman strength.
At 9 years old, Dimitri could lift giant boulders, run across mountains for hours, and constantly broke swords by accident. Most elites
Oops.
who had a crest also had a massive ego, but not Dimitri.
Right, Dimitri was strong, but generally kind. Like when he gave his childhood friend Edelgard a dagger. An earnest, if odd gift.
I got
It makes
shot in the
sense
shell for my first
when you
crush,
think about it.
But life took a turn for Dimitri when a mysterious group murdered his dad and a bunch of knights.
Or I guess I should say it
burning
makes
them
sense
all
with
in front of
context,
him
but,
and leaving the poor kid with some serious survivor's guilt.
Guilt that only
Yeah.
worsened when the country of Dusker was unjustly blamed for the tragedy. Dimitri lamented that he could not stop Fargus's corrupt
He even rescued a man from there
When those
when
same nobles
everyone
rebelled
thought
a
he would
couple
be.
years later, he fought them
Everyone
like
tried to kill him.
beasts, slaying them all with sadistic glee.
This savage side would emerge when Dimitri was reminded of the tragedy he witnessed. Otherwise, his chivalrous charm remained forefront.
With guidance from his dead dad's buddy Rodrigue, Dimitri got into the Garrick Monk Officers Academy, where he led the Blue Lion's house and learned the mystic arts.
Well, he's not the most proficient in it, but Dimitri did learn healing and elemental magics, able to call down lightning or even channel it through his weapons.
Letting him electrocute tons of enemies at once. He learned this and more from everyone's favorite Smash Bros. Character, Professor Blayddid.
Assuming you picked the Blue Lions when you played Fire Emblem Three Houses. We're getting a little meta here, but his story turns out very differently depending on the path chosen. Aside from the Blue Lions, there's Edelgard's Black Eagles.
And the Golden Deer, led by the crafty Claude Von Regan, aka the Best House.
That band of goofy misfits.
Here we go.
The Black Eagles are a far more cohesive unit.
Nah, fear the deer, Wiz.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Ashen Wolves for life, losers!
Of course Jocelyn picks the Goths.
Anyway, in Dimitri's route, he mastered all manner of weaponry. Lances, swords, axes, gauntlets, and more.
Some of these weapons use magic, some use poison, and others are used to slay giant monsters. But all of them made Dimitri an ace at warfare, especially when Blayddid taught him some special skills.
The seal movement technique stops foes in their tracks. Frozen Lance skewers enemies with ice, and Swordbreaker boosts evasion against blade users. To top it off, Dimitri can enter an awakened state for even more power.
Dimitri led his classmates through thick and thin, but everything changed when he suspected the one behind the tragedy of Duskur was his old dagger friend, Edelgard. Dun dun dun!
To end Fodlan's oppressive crest system, Edelgard and her empire declared war on Fargus and the Church of Seros.
Dimitri could be cruel before, but after this betrayal, he snapped, vowing to kill every last one of them. For 5 years, he slaughtered the enemy, all to appease the voices that called for Edelgard's head.
He's not exaggerating. Dimitri truly believes his dead loved ones cry to him, unable to know peace until he claims vengeance.
As if prince-turned-murderer hobo wasn't scary enough, he wields the ultimate lance, the hero's relic, Eredfar.
Forged from the bones of dragon-like Nabateans, Eredfar is much stronger than ordinary metal. It can pierce any armor with its signature move, Atrocity.
They mean
and
Slaughterer?
only crossbearers can
I didn't
wield it
know.
without
Okay.
mutating into a monstrous black beast.
With his lance, Dimitri kept killing, but no bloodshed.
Ooh, this music.
He reached peak war crimes, torturing an enemy commander in blind rage.
But when his actions led to Rodrigue making the ultimate sacrifice, Dimitri was broken, terrified of yet another voice haunting him.
Except this time, he had his professor to help him out. We really gotta pay teachers more, y'all.
Dimitri still felt hatred for Edelgard, but looked past it to the friends and kingdom he neglected and made a choice.
Instead of killing every last one of them, he would save every last one by retaking Fargus's capital.
A task this
Yeah.
savior king had the strength to do.
Dimitri has dodged meteors going Mach 60, decimated a squad of soldiers with
Okay.
one spear throw, and defeated a wizard from the magic Illuminati.
This is Talus, whose power shook a futuristic underground city.
And Dimitri just walked through his magic like it was nothing.
Dimitri's also more than a match for Edelgard, who, in her route, bested the Archbishop of the Church of Seros, Rhea.
This is important because after dragging it up, Rhea survived 2 exploding javelins of light, aka magic nukes. Jeez, and Dimitri can fight on her level?
Indeed, but in the end, despite
True.
half a decade of slaughter, Dimitri was hesitant to kill Edelgard, in part from learning
Yeah.
she wasn't responsible for the tragedy. Still, both monarchs had ideas for Fodlan that were simply incompatible.
And then Edelgard pulled a fast one with that old dagger present. Dimitri definitely felt that irony.
The war was over, and with his allies at his side, Dimitri claimed his place as a just king.
Unless, you picked a different house. His story doesn't end very happy in those.
But though
No.
the voices of the dead will haunt Dimitri until his final breath, so long as he has his friends, conviction, and compassion for the living, he will find peace.
A
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all
had to include that
possibilities.
walking cycle, huh?
It's time for a death battle!
And pause. Okay, so during those ads, I had time to think about both of their stats. So, like I said, it does seem like Guts is just a little bit faster, but I still think Dimitri's going to win. I'm just gonna say that right now. Really, it's the I'm kind of metaing here, but it's the idea that they didn't give numbers for the javelins, and they mentioned Sothis in a black box. It's really the fact that they didn't give numbers for those that's kind of leaning me to say, like, oh, they're just making it seem like they're kind of hiding Dimitri's power output to kind of like catch you off guard if you're only paying attention to numbers. The fact that they didn't give any numbers for Dimitri's power at all is kind of telling. Plus, again, just more tech, more weapons at his disposal. I didn't remember Swordbreaker. I don't think that actually means he's going to break the Dragon Slayer, but it's still something to think about. It's a boost against bladed weapons. Guts' literal main weapon is a blade. So yeah. So I don't know. I still think Dimitri's going to win. But with that might be the closest midsection prediction I think I've ever done. Let's jump right in. This is going to be a really good fight, I can already tell from the preview and from the soundtrack.
Strong. What drives your slaughter? Save the high and mighty crap till you're dead.
I do really like the voices. Dimitri sounds very different from how he sounds in Three Houses, but I still like it. The BizPost team is really killing it this time around. Oh, well, that's ironic. That's where Edelgard got him. Oof. And preview's over.
How dare you! I will tear your head from your shoulders. The dead must have their revenge.
Guts is like, shut up. Oh! Oh, bombs.
Go to hell!
Ow. Ow. Here's where the Berserker armor comes in. I can see his twisted arm.
Avenge us.
Promise, I'll kill them. All of them. Down to the last one!
Okay, that was cool. Ow! Good lord! Ow!
Enough of this!
Oh, okay, that was cool. I feel like it's too soon for that. Yeah. Wait, what? Oh.
Still standing? So we're both shackled to the dead. You foul beasts will not have his soul!
Oh, wow!
Scarier, still standing there. He was a badass till the end.
Being fast enough to dodge lightning, Guts actually had a slight speed advantage over Dimitri, though skills like seal movement and swordbreaker helped Dimitri close the gap.
And while Dimitri
Okay,
had some
yeah,
minor
true.
healing magic to fall back on, it wasn't gonna compete with the raw endurance from the Berserker armor.
Still,
True.
Dimitri's absurd strength and wider pool of weapons and abilities gave him plenty of ways to wear Guts down. Against Dimitri's electricity magic, Guts' sword and armor were vulnerable conductors, making every
Oh, yeah.
to electrocute him.
Sure, Guts has defeated lightning callers before, but he needed help. Not to mention, moves like Atrocity can pierce through armored foes, bypassing half the point of wearing the Berserker armor.
Yep.
Guts could power through some of Eredfar's damage, but he wasn't invincible and could not heal from fatal wounds.
Then there's both fighters' raw power. Slaying demons is really impressive, obviously, but not always on par with magic nukes.
Remember, in Edelgard's route, she defeated Rhea, who survived 2 Javelins of Light. In Dimitri's route, he defeated Edelgard while she was a powered-up crest monster. That
Yeah.
happened.
So, if Rhea could take on the Javelins of Light, Dimitri should be at a similar level. So, let's find out how strong a Javelin is.
In Vodlin's lore, several javelins decimated a forest, forming the Valley of Torment. However, the exact number of javelins used to create the valley was never given, making the power of an individual javelin unclear.
But we do know the Javelins in this attack were supposed to hit the Garrigmok Monastery, until the goddess Sothis noped them away and they hit the forest instead.
Nope.
We also know that the Javelins of Light are not limitless, with typically no more than 6 being used at once, even against structures similar in size to Garrigmok.
So,
Okay.
if a similar amount were used in the attack that made the valley, each Javelin would pack a payload that's over 3 gigatons of TNT.
Even if we severely lowballed this and said the destruction was divided between 10, 50, or even 100 different Javelins of Light, surviving 2 Javelins would still be greater than the best of Guts' feats, even scaled to the sea
Yikes.
god. Guts' persistence meant he wouldn't go down easy, but against Dimitri's inhuman strength, devastating abilities, and fervent willpower, it was just a matter of time before the vengeful king wore through him.
Saying it makes me berserk, but Guts could only go so fargus.
The winner is Dimitri Alexandre Blayddid.
All right. There we go.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We have a new death battle releasing every 2 weeks this year. Click the join button to get new perks and extra content.
You fought well,
Death
Guts.
battles
All right.
before
Well, what's
anyone
next,
else.
though? I'm
Don't
curious. Oh! Whoa! Martian Manhunter and Silver Surfer. Hey, so we're not feeding Piccolo to Martian Manhunter. That's good to know. All right. I mean, that's cool. Another Marvel vs. DC fight. All right. Still, I'm down. Get Silver Surfer on this show. Much like it's kind of a similar vein to the Phoenix. It's like we hear about people like Silver Surfer so much that now it's like, all right, well, when is it his turn? You know, and here it is. And I guess Martian Manhunter too. Interesting that. So that'll be interesting. I'm actually kind of okay with that. So I don't actually know who wins that. I imagine I've heard some crazy, like both of them are crazy powerful and have some crazy hacks to them. I don't know. Part of me wants to say Silver Surfer. That's just what I've heard. But I obviously don't want to count a DC character out, especially after the last episode, where Raven, of all people, is able to beat the Phoenix. I say that as if it didn't make sense. It made total sense, but it's just when you look at the idea of the Phoenix, the all-powerful Phoenix, fighting someone like Raven, excuse me, you don't think much of it. You think like, oh, well, how does the Phoenix not win, you know? So it's kind of a similar thing here. So, yeah. So that'll be a fun fight. I'm actually okay with that. But if you want to talk about fun fights, this one was it. This was really cool. Real quick, I noticed a lot of credits on this one. More specifically on the voice cast. Okay. Okay, the voices of the dead was Billy and Liam. The voices of the Beast of Darkness was Billy. Okay. Cool. Who animated this? I imagine it was the Blender team. But I just want to make sure. It's hard for me to get it. Where are they? Did the VizPost team do this one? I'm a little confused about that, but all right. I'll go back to that later, I guess. But still, it was a really cool fight. Everything looked really good. All the effects, the models. Both voice actors did amazing. The music is phenomenal. I've listened to the music a lot when it came out. It's really good. And that ending, man, that was raw. So like what? I imagine how I pictured it. How I'm picturing it right now is like Guts was already dead, but the demonic essence, I guess, of the Berserker armor and the demon controlling them kind of took control in his last moments before his body just gave out. Wait, Christina was on this. All right, that's interesting. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Still, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this. That was a really cool fight. I'm really happy about that. I don't know if I'd say I like this one more than like Vader versus Obito or Dark Souls versus Skyrim, but I'm sure I will have my answer when I have to rank this season. So yeah, I don't really have anything more to say on the matter. It was a really cool fight. I'm glad I was right. Even though, man, it does feel... I do feel for Berserk fans. But hey, if you liked Guts' last fight, there is still that. So yeah. That was a really cool fight. I'm happy with that, and I look forward to the next one. So with that being said, I don't really have anything more to say. So thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.